And Kamala is not our mommy. Now, I realize Drew Barrymore has an effed up mom who put her into the spotlight at this young age and let her do drugs and drink when she was, I think, in the single digits, or like 12 at the oldest. That's a sickness, right? She's platformed these people. She leaned in and woke. Now she wants to get away with on Bill Maher. If you've changed, then own that. Own how you've changed, how you've seen the error of your ways. You won't be kneeling down to the transgender cult anymore. And I'll listen to you. A lot of people have evolutions. I will listen to you. Right now, I think you're just saying what you think you need to say to be popular with Bill Maher's.
Drew Barrymore thought sitting down with Bill Maher would be a smart move. Big mistake. What was meant to be a laid-back, honest chat turned into an absolute disaster. APR meltdown so bad it dragged her right back into the Dylan Mulvaney, Kamala Harris mess she's been trying to escape. Social media roasted her alive, but the knockout blow came from Megyn Kelly. And trust me, Kelly didn't just throw shade, she tore Barrymore apart, piece by piece, slicing through her America's sweetheart image like it was nothing more than cheap wrapping paper. The internet loved every second of it, and Barrymore's reputation hanging by a single, fragile thread. At this point, the only real question is whether she can crawl her way back, or if this is the role that finally ends her career.
Drew Barrymore, this again on the podcast, and listen to what she said in SOD 28.
You have a lot of bravado about what you think is the truth or not, but it's just so refreshing. Like, you were doing this before it was so dangerous.
Still dangerous.
And it is just way too dangerous now, but you're still doing it.
It's slightly less dangerous than it was 2 years ago because we did have a vibe change, and because the Democrats lost so badly in 2024, the blush is off the rose on left-wing censorship, and oh my God, you can't say that. Stop telling me what I can do, what I can say, what I can think, who my heroes are supposed to be. Just get off.
Bill Maher, for you dropping a truth bomb nobody on the left wants to hear. He basically admitted what millions already knew. Under Trump, free speech was alive. But under Biden, opening your mouth feels like stepping barefoot on a minefield. One wrong word, one misfired joke, and boom, your career, your reputation, even your friendships go up in flames, torched by woke outrage. And this isn't paranoia, it's real. People lost jobs they'd spent decades building, watched their livelihoods vanish overnight, all because they said something the left decided was offensive. That's not censorship, that's social execution. Maher might not be a guy, but in that moment, he confessed the obvious. You could speak freely under Trump, under Biden. You whisper and pray the walls aren't listening, and while Maher was busy admitting that uncomfortable truth, Megyn Kelly had her sights locked on Drew Barrymore, ripping her hypocrisy to shreds and leaving nothing but ashes behind.
What he's always said, to his credit, he's been very consistent. But there you have Drew Barrymore talking about how it's still too dangerous to speak out with your real opinions. So what are her real opinions? Because just like Jimmy Kimmel and Sarah Silverman, she's been fueling the fire of wokeism for years. Who could forget how she humiliated herself next to fake quote unquote woman, meaning a man, Dylan Mulvaney, who came on her show and was treated like Jesus.
Barrymore is still drifting in her little woke bubble, completely detached from reality, while Trump gave Americans the backbone to speak freely without fear. Barrymore is stuck whining about how you can't say what you really think. Funny, isn't it? She never had a problem when Democrats were running the show, voices, crushing dissent, and canceling anyone guilty of wrongthink. Back then, she was more than happy sipping the progressive Kool-Aid while reputations and careers went up in flames. Now that the tide has turned, suddenly free speech feels dangerous to her. The truth is, most Americans are done with wokeism. They're mocking it, rejecting it, and fighting back harder than ever. And for someone like Drew Barrymore, that backlash isn't just uncomfortable, it's the real threat.
God, there's so much wrong with that clip. It's stomach turning. She's like, leftists need to learn the number one lesson of being happy in life. Do not lean into your problems. Don't lean into crazy. Everyone's had crazy in their lives. The successful, sane ones do not obsess over it, do not want to relive it over and over, do not want to talk about it night and day on their show, do not talk about things like the ground feels safe to me, and they certainly do not literally bend the knee to the cult of transgenderism, Drew, and then talk about how, gee, it feels so dangerous. It's so dangerous, still too dangerous to say how you really feel. About what? What is it? Do you have a reversal on?
Kelly hit on something brutally honest maybe. Drew Barrymore has actually shifted her views on transgenderism but is way too terrified to admit it. And honestly, who can blame her? In today's climate, even breathing the wrong way against the woke script can unleash a mob that never forgives, never forgets, and never lets you live it down. Barrymore knows the rules: one crack in the facade and it's instant cancellation, public shaming, and the death of her carefully polished Hollywood image. So instead, she puts on the smile, nods at all the right talking points, and prays nobody notices the fear hiding behind the performance. Kelly's point makes it clear this isn't about Drew lacking an opinion, it's about survival. In the age of woke purity tests, silence isn't golden.
In a safe space with Bill. Maybe he should have gotten her down on the floor and she would have said how she really felt. You continuously vote for the party and the people who push that bullshit on us. You, madam, are complicit. You hosted Kamala Harris, who says, we all need to be woke. We need to be woke because we just do. That's your person who you actually had on your program and wanted us to call Mama.
Drew Barrymore Kamala Harris interview easily ranks as the second most cringe disaster of her career. It wasn't journalism, was pure political fangirling. Barrymore rolled out the red carpet, lobbed softball questions, and gushed like a campaign groupie instead of a talk show host. She hyped Kamala and the DNC's glossy woke fairy tales like they were miracle cures for America's problems. But reality has a way of crashing the party. Those shiny promises. They were just promises, utopian slogans that crumbled the moment they hit the real world. And as the glow faded, so did Barrymore wide-eyed enthusiasm. What was once blind promotion turned into a living reminder that political fantasies don't survive contact with reality.
We lift each other up, we all rise with the mouth quivering, just like the hideous to Dylan. Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy? Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy? Oh my God, she's too far gone. This is what happens when you become a Hollywood actress as a child. You lose your id. You don't know who you are. You're just floating. You're like the Martian, the astronaut disconnected from the spaceship. You're just adrift in space, untethered. You don't know who you are. Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy?
Didn't come out of thin air. She's been trapped in the Hollywood pressure cooker since childhood, and that kind of fame warps you. It twists reality, erases boundaries, and forces you to keep performing even when the cameras stop rolling. Hollywood chews up child stars and spits them out broken. We've seen it with Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Lindsay Lohan, and a dozen others who spiraled under the same spotlight. The fame is relentless, the industry is ruthless, and by the time you see the damage, it's already too late. That's why Kelly's critique cuts so deep. It's not just about one cringy interview. It's about decades of Hollywood conditioning finally catching up to.
He's not joyful, okay? He's a sick person, Dylan Mulvaney. He, I believe, may have had his penis chopped off. He's taking massive amounts of hormones. He's pretending that he is something other than what he is. And I believe, and many others believe too, because he really wants to be famous. He's been wanting to be famous for many, many years. He wasn't able to make it as a man, or a gay man, or a non-binary man, and now has gone full Eloise. And that's something that you think is brave, and you celebrated it openly on your show and told others that they...
The spotlight promises validation, influence, and a lifestyle most people can only dream about, and plenty are willing to sell their soul for it. Principles get bent, identities get reinvented, and controversy becomes just another marketing tool to stay relevant. That's the trap Dylan Mulvaney seems stuck in. Yes, There are people who genuinely struggle with the painful reality of gender dysphoria. But then there are those who see identity as a ticket branding, sponsorships, viral moments, and instant influence. In today's outrage economy, every personal revelation doubles as a PR stunt, and when the culture rewards visibility over authenticity, it's no wonder some blur the line between lived experience and performance for profit.
The nonsense about, who dislikes me the most. Me. Oh my God, this woman has a national platform where she's passing on this craziness to God knows how many viewers. And then we all need a mom? Like, how crazy is that? No, we don't. We all had a mom, believe it or not. Some were good, some weren't great, some were amazing. I'm lucky enough to be in that category. I certainly don't need my politician to be my mom, okay? Not at all. We joke about Trump being daddy because that NATO Secretary General referred to him as such. And it's sort of a joke, like dad's home. He's not actually our dad. And by the way, I lost my dad when I was young. Never have I actually thought Trump was my daddy. And Kamala is not our mommy. Now I realize Drew Barrymore has an effed up mom who put her into the spotlight at this young age and let her do drugs and drink when she was, I think, in the single digits, or like 12 at the older.
We don't elect politicians to babysit us, lecture us, or play parent. We elect them to lead with bold vision, real decisions, and policies that actually serve the people, not their own careers. America doesn't need another wave of empty buzzwords. We need leaders who can actually transform the economy. Leaders who create jobs, empower families, and give citizens the tools to build a better future. Leaders who defend freedom, every single one of them, without apology, and who make America strong and respected on the world stage instead of turning us into a global punchline. What this country needs are statesmen, not micromanagers, builders, not bureaucrats, visionaries, not hall monitors. Government's job is simple: protect liberty and create opportunity. The rest, that's on us.
She's platformed these people, she leaned in and woke. Now she wants to get away with, on Bill Maher, saying it's too dangerous to say how you really feel. About what? You are the one who's been fueling the fire that you now seem to be calling dangerous. I mean, just the hypocrisy. Be yourself at a minimum in front of all crowds, okay? If you've changed, then own that. Own how you've changed, how you've seen the error of your ways. How you won't be kneeling down to the transgender cult anymore. And I'll listen to you. A lot of people have evolutions. I will listen to you. Right now, I think you're just saying what you think you need to say to be popular with Bill Maher's audience.
More likely, she realized halfway through that she was on Bill Maher's turf, a place where woke talking points go to die. With Maher's reputation as a anti-woke bruiser, Barrymore knew spewing her usual Hollywood progressivism could backfire in seconds. So, she did what celebrities do best. She adapted. She nodded, smiled, tossed out a few safe lines, and tried to look like she'd seen the light. But was it genuine reflection, or just survival instincts kicking in? Given her long track record of parroting Hollywood's progressive orthodoxy, it's hard to believe this was some sudden epiphany. Her tone shift felt less like growth and more like performance, a calculated act tailored for Maher's audience. Not a sign of real change.
On some ladies on The View, SOT 31.
I love Whoopi and Joe. Those are the two I really know. And I did it like a year ago, and I liked everybody, but like I don't know if they're really, at this moment, the best advertisement for women. They just... it's
a format, that show.
They say some things that are just like not helpful, like say to elections. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, they actually are sitting on the floor. And still, she wasn't able to say what's real. Okay. Everyone who watches this show knows that he's right.
Whoopi Goldberg and Joe Scarborough have turned woke hot takes into an art form, and not the good kind. Joe has built his entire brand on obsessive, non-stop Trump bashing, turning every conversation into the same tired rant. Whoopi, she's become legendary for blurting out comments so detached from reality that even her co-hosts can't hide their cringe. Together, they're the poster children for why Americans no longer trust daytime talk shows or mainstream media. This isn't journalism, it's theater, partisan performance art dressed up as commentary. And the cost isn't just controversy, it's credibility. Every time Whoopi and Scarborough open their mouths, the audience sees exactly why people are tuning out. America doesn't need more noise. It needs truth, balance, and leaders who